Imagine staring at a bank balance of exactly $847 on a Tuesday morning. You feel responsible until your friend walks in with a brand new shiny PlayStation 5. He has $0 in savings, yet he's smiling while you're calculating the cost of your groceries. My name is Nick, and I analyze why these small numbers feel like such a heavy burden. Why does their reckless spending feel so much better than your slow and painful responsible saving? You are currently stuck in what I call financial purgatory, where all your progress feels totally invisible. This is the momentum illusion, where the harder you pull, the deeper you sink into the mud. Every dollar you save feels like financial shrapnel, tiny pieces of effort that never seem to explode. You're trapped in a scarcity identity, constantly looking for exits that simply do not exist for you. It feels like you are doing everything right, but the rewards are nowhere to be found yet. Meanwhile, the world around you is full of flashing lights and expensive gadgets you cannot afford. We need to talk about the vital difference between defensive money and the power of offensive money. Right now, your savings are purely defensive, meant only to catch you when you inevitably fall down. It is a safety net made of thin string that barely keeps you off the cold ground. To escape this cycle, you must push hard toward the critical $10,000 threshold. Until you hit that mark, your money lacks the gravity to pull you out of this hole. It's the difference between surviving a disaster and having the power to actually change your world. You are fighting a war where you only have shields and absolutely no weapons to strike back. Does that $847 actually make you feel safe, or just completely stuck? Most people give up here because the psychological cost of waiting is simply too high to bear. They see the PlayStation and choose the immediate hit of dopamine over the slow burn of security. But understanding the abundance identity starts with realizing that your current struggle is just a phase. We are going to break down why that specific balance feels so incredibly heavy on your soul. You are not alone in feeling this frustration while watching others spend their last dime so freely. But that $847 isn't just a number, it is a dangerous financial trap. Why does having $400 or $800 in the bank feel like having nothing at all? It is because your brain isn't lying to you. It is actually telling you a very painful truth. That $847 in your account is just a dark corner of financial purgatory. Your mind recognizes that $400 in savings is a sum that will never change your life. To your survival-driven brain, this small pile of cash is just financial shrapnel from a broken system. You are currently experiencing the momentum illusion, where every step forward feels like standing perfectly still. When your balance sits below the $10,000 threshold, you are merely playing a game of defense. Every single dollar saved at this level is defensive money, meant only to keep the wolves away. Imagine playing a high-stakes sports game where your team never manages to leave its own end zone. You are working incredibly hard, but you are trapped in a cycle defined by a persistent scarcity identity. Having $800 doesn't make you wealthy. It just means you are temporarily not broke. There is a massive psychological difference between being temporarily safe and actually building true, lasting wealth. Your brain ignores these small amounts because it knows they are destined for survival, not for growth. This is the cold reality of defensive money. It is a shield that can never become a sword. Until you cross that critical threshold, you are just waiting for the next emergency to strike you. The transition from a scarcity identity to an abundance identity requires moving past this initial defensive phase. Right now, every cent you scrape together feels like it is already promised to someone else's pocket. You are fighting an exhausting war of attrition where the goal is simply not to lose everything today. You have to ask yourself, is this real wealth, or just the feeling of temporary non-brokenness? Realizing that your current savings are purely defensive is the first step toward finding a new path. Your brain stays on high alert because it knows these meager funds are fragile and easily destroyed. Breaking free from financial purgatory requires more than saving. It requires a complete shift in your strategy. It is time to stop playing defense and start looking for ways to build real momentum. You aren't building a castle yet. You're just treading water while waiting to reach offensive money. If you want to stop playing defense, you need to reach the critical pivot point. There's a specific threshold where your money stops being a shield and starts being a sword. That magic number is $10,000, where saving stops feeling pointless and begins feeling powerful. Below this line, you are trapped in financial purgatory, surviving the constant sting of financial shrapnel. Once you hit the $10,000 threshold, the defensive burden of merely surviving starts to lift. This specific amount is sufficient to handle most life emergencies without completely depleting your hard-earned funds. Instead of drowning in debt from a broken car, you simply pay the bill and move forward. This stability allows your scarcity identity to slowly dissolve, replaced by the early spark of an abundance identity. But the real magic happens when you realize you are no longer just building a defensive wall. At $10,000, you finally gain the freedom to take a genuine, calculated risk in life. What could you do if you were no longer paralyzed by the fear of your bank account? You might finally invest in yourself or seize a rare opportunity that previously felt out of reach. This is the moment you escape the heavy gravity of financial survival and begin to find momentum. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the architect of your own financial future. Every single dollar saved above this $10,000 mark is what we call offensive money. Offensive money is no longer about survival. It is about attacking your goals and building real wealth. It is the difference between hiding behind a shield and finally stepping out to swing your sword. What happens when you stop saying I can't and finally start saying I just might? The momentum illusion fades away, replaced by the tangible power of a growing, aggressive capital base. Once you cross this invisible line, the rules of the financial game change for you forever. You've been here before, haven't you, standing right on the edge of a real financial breakthrough? But before you get there, life is going to try to kill your momentum with everything it has. It feels like every time you save a single dollar, the world finds a way to take two. This is the brutal reality of defensive money, where every cent is just waiting for a disaster. Imagine you finally scrape together $300 after weeks of discipline and cutting back. Suddenly, your car hits a pothole and you are forced to spend every penny on new tires. That momentum you felt just moments ago evaporates instantly into a cloud of frustration and defeat. You start over from zero, determined to build that wall of cash even higher this time. 2 months of hard work pass, and your balance finally climbs back up to $500. Then, without warning, your laptop screen goes black and refuses to wake up ever again. This is the momentum illusion, where you think you are moving forward while actually standing still. You are trapped in financial purgatory, a cycle that feels impossible to break regardless of your effort. You fight back, eventually reaching that $800 mark we discussed in the beginning. But life strikes again when your dog gets sick and requires an immediate trip to the vet. Or perhaps your insurance premium spikes or your phone screen shatters against the cold, hard pavement. It becomes a game of financial whack-a-mole where every win is met with a swift blow. These routine emergencies act like financial shrapnel, tearing holes in your dreams of reaching the next level. This cycle reinforces a scarcity identity, making you believe that having money is simply not for you. You start to view your savings not as a foundation, but as a target for life's next disaster. Without crossing the $10,000 threshold, your money remains purely defensive and constantly under siege. The visceral frustration of almost making it is often more painful than having nothing at all. This is why slow progress is a death sentence for your motivation and your long-term health. You must shed your scarcity identity to embrace an abundance identity and move toward offensive money. Most people stop at $3,000 because they simply do not feel any different. After 6 months of effort, that $3,000 balance often feels like a frustrating, static plateau. Without a visible shift in your lifestyle, you might mistakenly believe your hard work is failing. This is the momentum illusion, where your bank account grows but your underlying stress remains completely unchanged. To your brain, the gap between $1,000 and $5,000 is almost completely invisible. Despite the effort it takes, $5,000 feels like the same defensive money as $1,000. Think of it like crossing a bridge where being halfway across still leaves you over the water. You are still vulnerable to financial shrapnel, and every minor emergency feels like a major setback. Why does $3,000 still feel like zero when something suddenly goes wrong in life? You are stuck in financial purgatory, caught between the struggle of survival and the promise of stability. But the psychological gap between $5,000 and $10,000 is a massive, life-changing canyon. Reaching that $10,000 threshold triggers a profound shift in how you perceive your entire world. This specific number represents the critical crossing point from the vulnerability zone into the stability zone. At $10,000, your scarcity identity finally begins to dissolve, replaced by a new sense of abundance. This is where you finally stop playing defense and start looking at your cash as offensive money. The weight on your chest lifts as you realize you are no longer one disaster away from ruin. Your brain recognizes this safety, transforming your constant anxiety into a calm, calculated focus on growth. You must push through the invisible zone where progress feels slow to reach your true financial breakthrough. Do not let the lack of immediate feelings stop you from reaching that vital $10,000 mark. Once you cross into the stability zone, the rules of your financial life change forever. You aren't just saving money now. You are finally crossing through the dangerous and invisible vulnerability zone. You are shedding the financial shrapnel of your past to claim a new life of offensive power. Once you begin shedding that financial shrapnel, you enter a deceptive landscape known as Financial Purgatory. This is the high-stakes stretch between $3,000 and $7,000 in your bank account. It is a place where a momentum illusion tricks you into thinking you have finally made it. Previously, hitting the $2,000 mark felt like a joke, making you believe you were wasting time. You fought through that frustration, yet the $3,000 mark brings a different, quieter danger. Many people stop saving after 6 months because they simply do not feel a significant financial difference. Reaching a $3,000 balance is impressive, but it fails to fundamentally alter your daily existence. You are still relying on defensive money, protecting yourself against the next inevitable blow to your budget. Your brain begins to whisper that you are finally rich enough to start spending your cash again. This is the scarcity identity trying to pull you back into the comfort of your old habits. You see a larger balance than ever before, yet you remain one sudden emergency away from being broke. A single car repair or medical bill could wipe out months of your hard-earned progress instantly. This middle ground is where most dreams of financial freedom go to die quietly in the silence. You feel the weight of offensive money within reach, but the gravity of your past remains heavy. The journey through this zone requires ignoring the false sense of security that your balance provides. It is not just about the numbers. It is an internal war between your old and new selves. You must resist the urge to relax when the pressure of immediate survival starts to fade away. Every dollar you save now is a soldier in your fight against the lingering scarcity identity. You are building the foundation for an abundance identity that isn't shaken by a sudden flat tire. Crossing the $10,000 threshold is the only true exit from this lingering zone of vulnerability. Until you cross that line, your stability is nothing more than a fragile, temporary financial mirage. Stay focused on the goal because the most dangerous part of the climb is often the middle. You aren't just saving cash. You are buying your way out of the cycle of constant worry. Don't let the comfort of a few $1,000s blind you to the work still ahead. We are pushing toward that $10,000 mark where the fundamental rules of money finally change. This is the point where you stop playing defense and start building your offensive financial power. You must push through the plateau until your balance finally matches the scale of your true ambitions. The hardest part of the climb is not the beginning. It is staying focused in the middle. Keep your eyes fixed on the horizon and refuse to settle for the safety of the middle. The true transformation of your life begins only once you leave the vulnerability zone behind forever. Most financial gurus tell you to be slow and steady, but they are actually setting you up to fail. They suggest tucking away $50 or $100 every month while you ignore the burning fire nearby. This gradual approach creates a momentum illusion that keeps you trapped in a cycle of endless financial shrapnel. You are told that saving $200 a month is the responsible path to building real wealth. But let us be brutally honest about the harsh reality of the math behind this slow and painful crawl. If you only save $50 a month, reaching the $10,000 threshold takes 16 long years. Do you really want to wait until the year 2040 to finally feel a sense of true security? Trying to reach offensive money at this speed is like fighting a massive forest fire with a water pistol. While you wait over a decade for a breakthrough, life continues to throw unexpected emergencies at your progress. This slow burn reinforces a scarcity identity because your bank balance never seems to actually change your life. You remain stuck in financial purgatory, feeling the weight of every dollar without seeing the light of abundance. The first $10,000 is widely considered the hardest money you will ever have to save. It requires a psychological breakthrough that standard advice completely fails to account for in its linear projections. Saving small increments keeps you vulnerable to every minor setback that threatens to kill your fragile momentum. You are essentially waiting 16 years for a moment of clarity that you actually need right now. This isn't just about the numbers. It is about the mental burnout that comes from seeing no progress. Your defensive money shouldn't take a generation to accumulate while your dreams sit parked on the sidelines. Every month you contribute $50, you are merely reinforcing the idea that your freedom is far away. Standard advice ignores the fact that your spirit will likely break long before you hit that distant milestone. To move from scarcity to an abundance identity, you must realize that slow and steady is a trap. If you save $50 a month, you aren't building a future. You are simply waiting for a breakthrough. It is time to stop playing the slow game and start making the aggressive moves your future deserves. Think about the staggering difference between a decade-long grind and one single year of intense focus. If you save $50 every month, reaching that $10,000 threshold takes 16 years. 16 years is a lifetime to wait while your money remains trapped in a defensive money mode. Your brain simply wasn't designed to maintain high-intensity financial focus for nearly 2 full decades. Over such a long period, the momentum illusion fades, and your initial discipline slowly starts to crumble. This slow crawl is exactly why most people eventually fall back into a scarcity identity mindset. Now, imagine shifting your strategy to save $1,000 every single month instead. Suddenly, that massive $10,000 mountain is conquered in just 10 short months of effort. 10 months is a timeline your mind can actually visualize, track, and conquer with total intensity. You can sustain a sprint for 10 months, but you will likely collapse during a 16-year marathon. This aggressive timeline allows you to escape financial purgatory before the weight of life drags you down. Reaching that threshold quickly transforms your savings from defensive money into a powerful offensive weapon. The psychology of success demands results that arrive while your motivation is still burning at its peak. When progress is visible and rapid, your scarcity identity begins to dissolve into a new abundance identity. Waiting 16 years isn't a plan. It is a recipe for losing interest and staying broke forever. Every month you spend in the middle ground increases the risk of hitting more financial shrapnel. The brain thrives on short-term wins that prove your offensive money strategy is actually working. Compare the agonizing wait of 16 years to the lightning-fast victory of just 10 focused months. One path leads to burnout, while the other paves a clear road toward your ultimate financial freedom. Choosing the faster timeline is the only way to ensure you don't lose focus and quit early. This isn't just about the math. It is about how your mind handles the pressure of saving. A 10-month sprint keeps your eyes on the prize without the distraction of 1,000 tiny failures. Speed is the ultimate antidote to the psychological decay that ruins most long-term savings plans today. To get out of the trap of defensive money, you have to start running right now. You do not need a permanent lifestyle change. You actually need a desperate 3-month sprint. Most people fail because they try to tiptoe through the dangerous landscape of financial purgatory. Instead of a slow grind, think of this like a plane needing full thrust to leave. You must rip the Band-Aid off by embracing extreme discomfort to secure your long-term future. Imagine cutting every unnecessary cost and eating only cheap meals like rice and beans for months. This radical diet for 90 days builds the momentum required to finally escape your scarcity identity. What if you sold your car today and committed to taking the bus to save every penny? Eliminating a car payment is a brutal move that sheds financial shrapnel faster than any budget. Consider moving back with your parents for 6 months to eliminate your largest monthly housing expense. This temporary sacrifice allows you to pour every dollar directly toward that critical $10,000 threshold. You must also sacrifice your free time by taking on a side hustle every single weekend. Working 7 days a week is exhausting, but it turns your income into a high-speed offensive weapon. Saving $1,000 every month results in reaching the $10,000 threshold in 10 months. 10 months of intensity is a tiny price to pay for a lifetime of true financial stability. Can you handle 3 months of extreme discomfort to finally reach a place of abundance identity? Sprinting past the vulnerability zone requires you to stop caring about what other people think of you. While others drift in financial purgatory, you are building the thrust needed to launch your life. This offensive money strategy turns the momentum illusion into a concrete reality that you can feel. Every dollar saved through these radical adjustments brings you closer to crossing that vital finish line. You are not just saving cash. You are buying your way out of a perpetual survival cycle. Short-term intensity is the only way to crush the psychological decay of a decade-long financial grind. It is hard, it is intense, and it is the only way out of the trap. To escape the grip of defensive money, you must embrace a period of extreme and uncomfortable discipline. We are talking about a total lifestyle overhaul that trades temporary comfort for your long-term financial freedom. Your first weapon in this aggressive escape is a radical change to your daily food budget starting today. Commit to eating cheap meals like rice and beans for 3 months to maximize your total savings rate. This isn't just about saving money. It is about breaking your deep-rooted scarcity identity once and for all. 3 months of sacrifice will feel like an eternity, but the momentum you gain is absolutely priceless. Cutting expenses is only half the battle when you are trying to reach that offensive money phase. You need to inject your bank account with cash by working while everyone else is out having fun. Take on an aggressive side hustle that consumes every single weekend until your financial goals are fully met. Saying goodbye to your Saturday plans is the price you pay to leave financial purgatory behind forever. While others are spending their paychecks, you are building a fortress that will eventually protect your entire future. The combination of extreme frugality and extra income creates a powerful surge that destroys your financial shrapnel. You are intentionally suffering now, so you never have to worry about a low bank balance ever again. This brutal sprint shifts your mindset from survival mode into a powerful and confident abundance identity. It feels unfair and exhausting, but this is the specific price of admission for creating real wealth. Every bowl of rice and every weekend shift brings you closer to the $10,000 threshold. You are no longer just surviving. You are actively hunting for the life you actually want to live. Once you survive this 3-month sprint, the world starts to look very different through your new eyes. Your bank account is finally growing, and the momentum illusion is finally becoming a tangible, solid reality. Prepare yourself, because the next stage of this journey requires even more strategic offensive moves. You think you don't have the money to sprint, so let's find your missing $1,000. You're already spending that $1,000 every single month, but right now it isn't buying your freedom. You believe you are broke, but you are actually just leaking wealth through a bucket with holes. Every dollar that should be offensive money is being misdirected into things that keep you standing still. This is how you stay trapped in financial purgatory, mistaking movement for actual progress toward your goals. Let's look at the first giant hole in your bucket, which is often parked right in your driveway. Many people struggle with a $1,000 monthly car payment while wondering why their savings never grow. That shiny metal box is a momentum killer, turning your potential offensive money back into defensive money. Next, we find the second hole where $800 disappears for a single week of temporary escape. You justify an $800 vacation because you're stressed, but that stress comes from financial instability. These brief escapes create a momentum illusion, making you feel wealthy while your bank account remains stagnant. Then comes the lifestyle shrapnel, where $300 a month vanishes into fancy dinners and drinks. Spending $300 on dinners feels like living, but it's actually just another distraction from the sprint. Small luxuries provide a false sense of abundance, while you are still drowning in a scarcity identity. Finally, the silent drain comes from $200 in forgotten subscriptions you probably don't even use. These tiny leaks of $200 are financial shrapnel, cutting into your ability to build real momentum. When you add it all up, your offensive money is being scattered across a landscape of empty consumption. You aren't lacking the income to hit the $10,000 threshold. You are simply misdirecting your power. Every dollar spent on these distractions is a soldier you've lost in the war for your time. To cross the threshold, you must stop feeding the very things that keep you in financial purgatory. Trading your future for a car payment or a fancy dinner is a deal that leaves you exhausted. Realize that this lifestyle isn't living life at all. It is simply paying for your own prison. This is why the number matters more than the math when you are fighting for financial freedom. An $800 refrigerator repair can ruin a whole month if you only have $1,200 saved. But if you have $15,000 in the bank, that same broken appliance is just another ordinary Tuesday. Why does the same bill hurt some people so much more than others in today's economy? Imagine working hard to save $200 every single month for a full half-year period. After 6 months of grinding and sacrifice, you finally reach that $1,200 milestone with great pride. You are sitting in a tiny rowboat, finally catching a small breeze toward your long-term goals. Suddenly, your refrigerator dies, and the replacement cost is a staggering $800 in cash. Pulling that money from your savings leaves you with a measly $400 to your name. That single repair didn't just cost money. It essentially stole 4 months of your hard-earned progress. This is the brutal weight of defensive money, where every step forward feels followed by two back. To a small rowboat, an $800 wave is a catastrophic event that threatens to sink everything. Now let's look at this same scenario from the perspective of someone with $15,000 saved. For them, spending $800 results in almost no emotional impact or stress at all. They are operating from an abundance identity where small setbacks are merely minor inconveniences on the journey. That same $800 wave barely registers against the massive hull of a steady financial cruise ship. The math says it is the same $800, but the psychological cost is vastly different. At this level, you have moved beyond defensive money and are starting to play life on offense. You are finally crossing that $10,000 threshold where your mindset begins to shift away from fear. You no longer let financial shrapnel tear apart your peace of mind or destroy your weekly momentum. When you are stuck in a scarcity identity, every expense feels like a personal attack on you. This constant emotional drain is exactly what keeps people trapped in the cycle of financial purgatory forever. The difference between panic and peace isn't just the money. It is the momentum you maintain. True stability allows you to absorb these shocks without losing your focus or your internal drive. Understanding how these setbacks deceive your brain is vital because that is the momentum illusion in action. You have finally made some progress, but you certainly haven't made it out of the woods yet. This is where you enter financial purgatory, a dangerous middle ground where your motivation begins to flicker. There is a specific level of savings that feels like enough to see, but not enough to change. When you hit around $2,000, a strange and subtle psychological struggle begins to take hold. At this balance, many individuals start feeling like they are simply wasting their time with slow progress. It feels like a lot of work for a number that still cannot fundamentally alter your existence. You stare at that $3,000 and realize it is nowhere near true financial freedom. This realization creates a desperate urge to trade that stability for a moment of temporary relief. Suddenly, a $3,000 trip to Europe starts looking like a reasonable reward for your hard work. You might even consider blowing that entire balance on one wild, expensive weekend in Las Vegas instead. Your brain convinces you that since $3,000 won't change your life, you should enjoy it. This is the critical moment where most people give up and slide back into their scarcity identity. By spending that progress, you are essentially choosing to stay trapped in the cycle of defensive money. Is a single trip to Europe really worth going back to playing defense for another long year? You are trading your future offensive money for a fleeting experience that leaves your bank account empty. This psychological trap is why so many people never cross the $10,000 threshold in their lives. They get stuck in the middle, frustrated by the slow crawl of building a real financial foundation. When you blow your progress, you kill the momentum illusion and reset your entire financial journey. You must resist the urge to spend your safety net just because it feels too small. Don't let the frustration of financial purgatory trick you into burning the very bridge you are building. Every dollar you keep now is a brick in the wall protecting you from future financial shrapnel. If you spend it now, you are just pretending to be wealthy while remaining fundamentally vulnerable. Stay focused on the goal and don't trade your hard-earned stability for a weekend of pretending. Reaching the $10,000 threshold doesn't just change your bank balance, it changes your name. Once you hit that magic number, you aren't just a saver trying to survive anymore. You are finally escaping the gravity of defensive money and leaving the financial purgatory behind. Think of this milestone as a complete software upgrade for your entire financial operating system. For years, you have likely operated under the heavy weight of a persistent scarcity identity. This identity makes every unexpected bill feel like a personal attack on your hard-earned progress. It is the lingering feeling of financial shrapnel constantly threatening to pierce your fragile stability. You have been playing a game of constant defense, just trying to keep your head up. But crossing the $10,000 mark rewrites the very core of how you see yourself. Who would you truly be if you weren't constantly forced to manage the stress of scarcity? Imagine waking up without the momentum illusion whispering that your progress is just a fluke. At this level, you begin to shed the old skin of someone who always lacks. You are stepping into an abundance identity where money starts working for you, not against you. This isn't just about the math. It is about the profound psychological relief of true security. The constant fear of the next emergency begins to fade into the background of your mind. You stop looking for ways to survive and start looking for ways to actually build wealth. Defensive money served its purpose, but now you are ready to command your offensive money. The internal shift is subtle at first, like a light turning on in a dark room. You no longer identify as a victim of your circumstances or your past financial mistakes. Every dollar over this threshold reinforces your new status as a person who possesses abundance. This mental transformation is the most valuable asset you will ever own in your lifetime. You are no longer just avoiding poverty. You are actively designing a future of total freedom. The scarcity identity that once defined you is now just a ghost of your former self. Welcome to the other side of the threshold, where your new financial life finally begins. You have officially evolved, and you are finally someone who possesses a powerful abundance identity. Identity isn't something you simply think about. It is something you do through consistent daily action. Remember being 15 years old, sitting in a dusty parking lot, gripped with absolute, heart-pounding fear? You had to consciously remember to signal, check your mirrors, and gently apply the brakes simultaneously. Every single movement felt clunky and forced because your brain was processing every gear shift manually. At 15, driving isn't a skill yet. It's a terrifying checklist of rules you're desperate not to break. Managing defensive money feels exactly like that first driving lesson, where every dollar spent requires intense focus. You are constantly checking your mirrors for financial shrapnel, terrified that one wrong move ends in disaster. When was the last time you actually had to consciously think about how to drive your car? Today, you slide into the seat, turn the key, and arrive at your destination without a thought. The mechanics of driving have moved from your conscious struggle into the quiet power of your subconscious. This shift from effort to ease is what happens when you finally cross the $10,000 threshold. Before this point, you are trapped in the momentum illusion, where every inch of progress feels exhausting. But once you reach that milestone, your scarcity identity begins to dissolve into something much more powerful. You stop playing defense against every unexpected bill and start moving toward offensive money with total confidence. Financial purgatory is the period where you are still learning to handle the wheel without panicking. Passing the $10,000 mark is like finally receiving your license and mastering the open road. You no longer sweat the small stuff because your abundance identity has become your natural state of being. Financial competence is no longer a chore you perform. It is simply who you have actually become. You have moved beyond the struggle and into a world where your money finally works for you. Saving $10,000 makes this high level of financial competence feel completely and beautifully automatic. $10,000 is more than money. It is the price of your permission to live your life differently. This is the exact moment where the offensive money we discussed finally comes alive in your hands. You have spent years playing defense, terrified of every unexpected bill that lands in your mailbox. But reaching the $10,000 threshold fundamentally rewires how your brain processes every single financial decision. Imagine walking into a store and spending $500 without feeling the need to check your balance. That simple act of spending without fear is the first sign that you have escaped financial purgatory. You no longer live under the crushing weight of scarcity identity or the constant fear of overdrawing. Instead, you begin to view your bank account as a powerful tool rather than a source of anxiety. Think about the staggering power that $10,000 gives you over your daily professional life. It provides the financial capacity to quit a toxic job that drains your soul every single day. You can finally pack your bags and move cities to chase a better opportunity without any hesitation. This isn't just a number. It is a shield against the financial shrapnel of an unpredictable world. With this cushion, you can invest in the education or training needed to increase your future earnings. You are no longer just surviving. You are actively building an abundance identity through your consistent choices. The momentum illusion that once tricked you into stagnation has finally been replaced by genuine, lasting power. What would you do tomorrow if you knew you truly had the permission to quit your job? How much is it worth to stop checking your balance every time you buy a morning coffee? This milestone is the key that unlocks the door to a completely new and exciting financial city. Your $10,000 is the heavy sword of offensive money, ready to strike for your future. You have officially transitioned from a person who saves into a person who commands their own wealth. The fear that once dictated your every move has vanished, replaced by a sense of calm authority. Every dollar you earn now serves your mission instead of just covering for your past mistakes. You are finally ready to step out of the shadows and into the light of true independence. This is the moment where your money stops being a cage and starts being a ladder. Take a deep breath and realize that you aren't just safe anymore. You are finally free. The path to $10,000 starts right now, but it requires one final decisive choice. Are you truly ready to stop playing defense and finally seize control of your financial future? We have spent time dissecting the traps of financial purgatory and the lies of the momentum illusion. You now understand that $3,000 is just a resting point, not the final destination. It is time to shed that scarcity identity once and for all and claim your new abundance. This journey isn't just about math. It is about building the discipline to reach that threshold. To escape the cycle of defensive money, you must commit to an aggressive 3-month sprint today. You don't have to do this alone because you are joining a tribe of offensive players. Every person in this community is fighting to clear their financial shrapnel and build real wealth. This is where the theory ends and your real-world transformation begins with one single brave action. I want you to look at your bank account right now and face the numbers honestly. Scroll down to the comments and share your current balance and your specific goal for this sprint. Putting that number into the world breaks the power of scarcity and creates immediate, powerful accountability. Whether you have $800 or $5,000, your journey toward freedom is uniquely yours. By declaring your intention, you are stepping out of the shadows and into the offensive money game. If you are committed to reaching the $10,000 threshold, hit the subscribe button right now. Join this movement of people who are refusing to let financial purgatory dictate their life story. Share this video with one friend who needs to stop surviving and start actually building their future. Remember that every dollar you save now is a soldier in your growing army of offensive capital. You have the permission to be free, so go out and earn that $10,000 milestone. The momentum you build today will carry you through the hardest parts of your financial escape. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and never forget that you are no longer playing a defensive game. Keep pushing forward with everything you have, and I will see you in the stability zone.